What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. Now it's the first Raw 2022, and what a way to kick off the year, as Brock Lesnar is your new WWE Champion. What happened on the Red brand? Join us now as we look at that, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including a WWE secret exposed with a big fail, massive news on WrestleMania's main event, WWE preparing for a big return, and much more. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. As always, we won't recap the matches, but just provide you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, the Beast and the Brain. Now, it was great to see Brock Lesnar back together with Paul Heyman last night. Lesnar and Heyman have been together so long that it's difficult to think of one without the other. Brock has improved on the stick, but Heyman brings an extra level of excellence to Lesnar's promos, and it's a wise move on the WWE's part in taking advantage of their synergy. Nevertheless, we're still getting over Roman Reigns and Heyman's split, as Heyman did a splendid job helping Roman build himself up as a heel. Roman's heel act has improved so much that he doesn't need a mouthpiece. For now, it looks like Heyman is back in Lesnar's corner, and while you can never tell where Heyman's true loyalties lie, other than to himself, fans have to be excited to see the Beast and the Brawn working together. It should be fun to watch just how Lesnar and Heyman interact with the Bloodline now that the battle lines have been drawn. Number 2, a true clash of the Titans. Bobby vs Brock is finally happening after years of fans asking for this dream match to take place. Lashley is more deserving of this chance, and he's at the height of his power right now, which only makes this clash of titans more exciting to watch. Lashley has all the tools to defeat Lesnar, but sadly that's unlikely to happen as the WWE has bigger plans for Lesnar. It's a shame he won't win, as this could be a great series, and it's more of an afterthought as the WWE sets the table for this year's show of shows. But there's more details to follow in the news about this. Number 3, predictable but cool. Surprises in wrestling can be lots of fun, but sometimes it's impossible to hide a storyline from fans, as seen by the WWE's announcement that Edge and Beth Phoenix will take on The Miz and Maurice at the Royal Rumble. The WWE Universe has been speculating about this mixed tag match ever since Edge and The Miz began feuding, and Maurice's Raw appearance only confirmed their suspicion. And nonetheless, this should be a fun match, as 2 of the WWE's real-life wrestling couples do battle at one of the WWE's Big 4 events. Number 4, Veer is not coming. Where's Veer? Well, that's the million-dollar question wrestling fans are asking, and who are we kidding? The WWE's months of hype videos announcing Veer is coming to Raw have stirred a minimal amount of interest from fans, and well, that's being generous. Said interest being whether he'll actually show up or he'll be quietly future endeavored. There were no hype videos for Veer last night, leading to fans asking whether the WWE has any intention on bringing him to Raw. And number 5, hyping the Royal Rumble. The Royal Rumble is over 3 weeks away, but the WWE is already booking some big bouts, including Lesnar vs Lashley for the championship and the mixed tag match between Edge and Beth Phoenix and The Miz and Maurice. They've also revealed several entrants this year as the men's Royal Rumble, including Jackass star Johnny Knoxville. That's refreshing to see the WWE hyping a show weeks ahead, and we're hopeful that the WWE has some long-term plans for the road to WrestleMania. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number 1, WWE flat out given up on Elias? The former Drifter has been missing in action so long that fans are curious whether he's flying under the radar so he can continue cashing a paycheck until the WWE realizes he's still on its payroll. Number 2, a tired title. And we've talked about how awful the 24/7 championship has become that complaining about it is probably almost as tired as the title itself, so we'll only say that you know your career is bad when you're in a tag team match built around the 24/7 championship. Could this be Reginald, Tamina, Akira Tozawa and Dana Brooks whimpering end to their WWE careers? And number 3, dumping Doudrop. Is Doudrop an afterthought? Well, it's hard to think of a current storyline, if you could even call it that, as evidence that the WWE is interested in her. Doudrop's quickly become a cliche, a heel complaining she's not in a match. Even worse is the fans know she has no chance of winning the match. Unless the WWE makes some colossal changes to Doudrop's direction, fans are going to be looking back at her heel turn as the moment when the road to her release started. There was nothing downright ugly about last night's Raw, and the WWE took full advantage of the buzz from Brock Lesnar's Day 1 WWE Championship win by featuring him on last night's Raw and booking a match to determine his opponent at the Royal Rumble. The WWE needs to capitalize on Lesnar's win, as it's a rare opportunity to jumpstart Raw's ratings, especially as Monday Night Football is about to end for the season. Judging by Lesnar's announcement that he's appearing on SmackDown, fans could see Reigns on Raw, another chance for the WWE to boost the Red brand's ratings. The only challenge will be making sure the Red brand's other stars aren't ignored. What did you guys think of Raw last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Now, first story looks at WWE secret exposed with a big fail last night. Now, there are many secrets in wrestling that WWE keep well hidden, but they managed to expose themselves with a massive fail on last night's Raw. As during RK Bros promo backstage, the crowd seemed to be going crazy, but I instantly stopped when they started to talk. Obviously, WWE is blatantly using a fake crowd noise during segments and perhaps even during matches. I bet somebody in production is surely not safe after Vince finds out. Next up, big news on the Wrestlemania main event. Top of the news today are more rumors concerning the main event for Wrestlemania 38. While it's no secret that the WWE wants another bout between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, Brock's recent WWE Championship win has changed the landscape for this year's showcase of the Immortals. Whereas Brock was previously on SmackDown challenging Reigns for the Universal Championship, Brock could very well be the WWE Champion, while Reigns could still be Universal Champion when WrestleMania rolls around. With that in mind, would the WWE take advantage of this rare opportunity for a champion versus champion match with both belts on the line? Well, that's the question going around, and so far there's little going on but speculation. PW Insider's Mike Johnson discussed the current situation, saying, "As noted on my PWInsider.com Elite Audio on Sunday evening, there have been talk of coming out of the Day 1 pay-per-view that Reigns vs Lesnar could end up the WrestleMania 38 main event after the match did not take place this past weekend. Obviously, there's a lot of time between now and the first week of April, but that certainly looks to be the direction. Now, with all due respect to Mike, it doesn't take a wrestling wise man to guess where things are going with the main event. The mystery at hand is whether the belt will be a title unification bout. First, there's the question of whether one or both men will still be champion, and second, whether the titles will be on the line if they both are. Brian Alvarez shared his thoughts during an episode of the Wrestling Observer Live. With Brock going to Raw for the time being and feuding with Lashley, the WrestleMania main event at this point appears to still be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. I do not know what this means, but as of 20 minutes ago or so, it was not going to be a title versus title match. With Lesnar defending the belt against Lashley at the Royal Rumble, there is a possibility that the Beast could drop the belt, something Alvarez thinks may happen. What that means, I don't know. It could mean that Brock will not be champion by the time Mania rolls around. It could mean that they're just going to do champion versus champion like Survivor Series, but each belt is not on the line. I don't know what it means, but as of 20 minutes ago, as of today, they're not doing like a title versus title unification match at WrestleMania. Everything could change. Now we believe that the WWE is a potential for a historic opportunity by having Lesnar and Reigns compete in a title unification match, an opportunity Vince McMahon likely doesn't want to pass on. The biggest problem will be how things go forward with one world champion. Is that a long-range goal for the WWE, or would it have Reigns or Lesnar drop one title sometimes afterwards? If the WWE wants to continue the brand split, it would seem to be in its best interest to keep a world title on each show. It might be in the WWE's best interest to take the titles off Brock and or Roman, saving itself from the potential problem we just mentioned. They could easily take the belt off one or both of the champions in a way that builds interest in their WrestleMania match. For instance, Reigns could interfere in Lesnar's title defense, costing him the match and leading to Lesnar gunning for Reigns, or even costing Reigns his title. Right now it's too early to tell whether any belts will be at stake, but fans can count on seeing another battle of the bullies, as Lesnar vs Reigns is a lot for WrestleMania 38, short of an unforeseen problem such as a COVID infection. Next up, WWE preparing for a big return. Alexa Bliss fans rejoice as the WWE has started Alexa's return to Raw. In case you missed it, they announced that on the 10th January Raw, it'll feature Miss Bliss's journey back to Raw. Cultaholic's Mitch Wadden noted, Bliss has been missing since September amid reports that the former Raw and SmackDown Women's Champion has been recovering following sinus-related surgery. The WWE wrote Bliss off television after Charlotte Flair defeated her at Extreme Rules, with the Queen destroying Bliss's doll Lily and leaving her in tears. Bliss tweeted about her return saying, "Next week you say?" She also posted a creepy gif of Cruella de Vil with the message, "Mustache, much to avenge, revenge, and destroy." Fans continue to ponder whether Bliss will return as a fiend-like character, a Little Miss Bliss, or a take on a new persona. What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. And finally, Keith Lee's new look. A former WWE superstar Keith Lee is keeping his fans updated via social media, with Lee sharing his thoughts on his WWE run as well as his current activities. Lee recently tweeted a picture where he's sporting a new look, informing his fans, "Back to work, in the lab. I think I'm done with my Samuel L. Jackson meme look. Right after I take a crazy looking photo with it. But it's time to start considering what is next properly." What do you guys think is next for Lee? Let us know in the comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.